Hello there. Welcome to Grade 12 Business Studies. In this video, we want to look at business strategy as a concept. So we want to understand first what we mean by strategy. So if strategy comes as a plan of action, and when it becomes business strategy, it is a master plan that outlines the direction the organization intends to make. So whatever plans that we put in place as a business in terms of anticipating the direction that we want to make, it becomes a business strategy. So the business strategy will guide us to the way to achieve our objectives. So this is what we have in terms of business strategy. So we've got a question that we have that we want to look at. That is the question paper of September 2024. And we are going to look on a question which is specifically on business strategy in particular. So if you go to our question, we'll see that this is our question that we have, and we are going to look at 2.3. That is the question that we are going to look at according to this video. So this is our 2.3, and it reads, read the scenario below and answer the question that follow. We are given Peace Motor Parts, in bracket PM. Peace Motor Parts are specialized in the selling of generic motor parts in the Eastern Cape. They realized that their business was in trouble because of a drop in sales. They terminated the employment contract of some of their workers. PM are aware that they can also implement other defensive strategies in the future. So our first question, which is 2.3.1, reads, identify the type of defensive strategy used by PM in the scenario above, and then our next sentence, motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. So on the first part of the question is asking us to identify the type of defensive strategy. So let's start by understanding what actually do we mean by a defensive strategy. So you'd see that a defensive strategy comes as a marketing tool that helps companies to retain valuable customers that can be taken away by competitors. So basically, we are saying the issue of retention of customers, the plans that we have in terms of retention of customers is what we mean by a defensive strategy. So we can also try to see that when you're talking about defensive strategy, it's a way or a way or a plan of action that is put in place to defend the market share of the business. From attacks from competitors or challenges that might come in the market. So this is what we have the explanation of defensive strategy. So let's try to identify from that explanation what is applicable in terms of this defensive strategy. So let's try to identify the type of defensive strategy. So if you go there, you will see that on this sentence here, it reads they terminated the employment contracts of some of their workers. And we know that whenever there's termination of employment contracts by the employer, we call it a retrenchment. So a retrenchment is the defensive strategy that is there. So retrenchment, remember, is basically the laying off of workers. We can define a retrenchment as a reduction of cost or spending in response to economic difficulty by laying off part of the workforce. So when we are laying part of the workforce due to the reason that we are facing high costs of operations, we call it a retrenchment. So we can also try to explain it from another point of view, whereby we're saying it's the act of removing a worker from a job as a way of saving the cost of employing them. So this is what we have. So you would see that retrenchment can also be taken as a strategy. Retrenchment as a strategy comes in the form that when it is used to reduce the scope or scale of a company's operations to improve financial health and operational efficiency. So when we are having retrenchment coming into play to improve the financial health of an organization or a business, or improve the operational efficiency, we call it a strategy. Retrenchment will come as a strategy in that way. So this is what we have. So on the second part of the question is saying motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. So you are just quoting here where they're saying they terminated the employment contract of some of their workers. That's where we've got the evidence that they are retrenching. So if you go to our answer section, we just want to see the explanation being put down. So on the defensive strategy from the scenario here, we have got retrenchment, and then on the motivation, that's the explanation, the brief explanation that we have. They terminated the employment contract of some of their workers. So that becomes the motivation. So we go to the second part of the question. which reads, let's try to see what we have in terms of the second part of the question. The second part of this question reads, explain one other defensive strategy. So you see that we've got other defensive strategies that can be employed at an organization or a business. We can have liquidation as one of the defensive strategies. We can also have divestiture as other defensive strategies that we can employ. So if you come on the other section again, you would see that divestiture is one of them, which can be used as a defensive strategy. So if you go back to our question again, let's try to see in terms of the requirements. Very important for you to try to identify the requirements of the question. So the question is saying, explain one other defensive strategy. So you are just stating it and then you explain. So so we can go there and try to see. Obviously, one mark for stating and 2 marks for explaining. So we have the explanation that we have in terms of a divestiture. One is saying disposing. You are trying to explain what would be happening during the process, disposing or selling some assets that are no longer profitable or productive. Second one, selling of divisions or product lines with slow growth potential. Third one, decreasing the number of shareholders by selling ownership. And then the fourth one, paying off debts by selling unproductive assets. And then the fifth one, withdrawing or divesting their investment share in another business. So this is the definition that we have, the explanation that we have in terms of a divestiture. So you also see that divestiture, we can also try to define it from another point of view, whereby we're saying is the action or process of selling of subsidiary business interests or investments. We can also define it along those lines. So the disposal of a company's assets or a business unit through a sale, exchange, closure, or it might be also bankruptcy. So this is another point of view that we can come and try to explain a divestiture. So this is what we have. So remember, the question is only asking one. So this one would be enough, but also have liquidation that we can also try to include, which explains that this is the selling of assets to pay off creditors due to lack of capital or inability to repay creditors. So this is what we have. Then on the second point, we can also try to explain liquidation from the point of view of selling the entire business to pay shareholders a fair price for their shares. And then also another explanation, allowing creditors to apply for forced liquidation to have their claims settled. Then this is other explanation that we can try to put into play in terms of explaining liquidation. So liquidation, again, we can also try to explain or define it from the point of view that as a process of bringing the business to an end. And you see that it usually occurs when a company is insolvent, meaning it cannot pay its obligations when they are due. So when you're saying a company is insolvent, we are saying it cannot pay its obligations when they become due. So that also can explain the issue of liquidation. So this is what we have, guys, according to this video on the explanation of business strategies. And let's stay tuned for more videos to come. Let's subscribe and share. Let's share the link to all of our colleagues who are doing grade 12 business studies. More videos are going to come as we prepare for exams. Let's stay tuned and we get notified of the new videos that are going to be uploaded. As for this video, I'm signing out. We'll meet again in the next video.